Yeah, well, let's just go on the high side and say it is 20%. So you're down to 100 cars.
Yeah.
And how many of those 100 cars have been treated like this? 5?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe. Yeah.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
I got a good one for us today. So from 1967 to 2002, Pontiac built the Firebird. The last year is the 2002, and the ultimate one to have is
WS6.
correct, WS6 Trans Am with a 6-speed.
Awesome.
So, guys, send me a few pictures of this car. It looks like it's a stud, so hopefully we can get it bought. So, I got my cup of Joe. You guys ready to go?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
We're gonna go to Lantana, Texas. Follow us. Looks like it's on a lift, even better. Bin pack too. One of our top sponsors. Hi, Dennis Collins.
Mike Larson.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Mike.
to meet you.
Alex Bowling.
Alex, nice to meet you.
Zach Gorgas on the camera.
Zach, nice to meet you, sir.
Well, we might as well look at the bottom first. That's cool.
Might as well.
That's awesome. You got on a lift. I told Alex for a couple of pictures. It looked fantastic.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, take a look. Like I said, it's really great shape. Probably the best one I've ever seen.
These rear ends are like the Fox body rear ends. They didn't paint them from the factory.
Yeah,
So
that
that
flash
all
rust.
got flash rust on them, even though that's just crazy they did that.
Wow.
I mean, this car was ever up in the salt, it would just kill it.
Crazy.
Now this looks incredible, Mike.
Thank you.
All the chalk marks are here, paint marks.
Yeah, it's really cool if you look at towards the front of the engine, looking back, you can see all the chalk marks around the suspension.
V8. So they knew what the chassis was, I guess, before they built the car. Wow, that's beautiful. It's rare that we get to see anything up on the lift.
Quite a bit. Never even bought it out or straight.
Nope.
Yeah, even some of the short models I've seen
Yeah.
have all
Like right
a little
here.
scrape right here. Wow, that's beautiful. Sway bar tags. Everything is there. Really nice.
Some cool little things too. If you look up, there's still some paper tags. Way up, I'm trying to think where they are. When we lower it down, you can see them inside the engine.
Here's one right here.
There you go.
So how long did you look for this car?
Oh geez, probably, I looked for probably about 3-4 months easily. And just so happened that I popped up with this one. It was out in Missouri.
Okay.
So the gentleman owned it for 13 years before I bought it. And the person that he bought it from actually turned it in because he, I guess the story goes that he went out and bought it, didn't tell his wife, and he had to go back and get a minivan. So,
Oh no, is that guy still married?
I guess so.
Well, maybe it was the right decision then.
Yeah. So,
And were you specifically looking for a 6-speed car, not an automatic?
correct, yeah. Yeah, I'm a 6-speed car. I wanted the WS6. I wanted the last year. I didn't know it had the LS6 block in it. So the only way that you can tell that is, again, from if you look at the top of the engine, they call it a bullseye. And it's the LS6 block were a little bit more dull. LS1 blocks were a little bit more shiny. So if you look at that, that's one way to look at it. Otherwise, the real way is to look at up through the tunnel hall, and you can look at the back of the engine block, and that's where that number is.
So you got lucky.
Yeah, so that's where the number, and it really is just the engine block difference between the block itself is the oiling. So the oiling is better with the LS6 block.
And the camshaft's different too, right?
I think with the camshafts, so all LS1L, the 02 and 01s had the LS6 camshaft, the intake, the throttle body, fuel injectors. They had the bigger fuel injectors. So really with this one, you got the block that was different, and supposedly from the Hot Rod magazine, they did make more horsepower too, because again, you know, the cooling kept it
Right,
cool,
right.
the
I
oil.
believe that.
So yeah, it did from the magazine article. It showed that.
But I mean, what's neat about this car is it hasn't been modified. But I mean, these cars are the ultimate to modify though.
Yes.
I mean, you can crank this thing to 500 horsepower just in a day or two. Very, very easy. With just some simple bolt-on modifications. And you want the LS6 block if you can. This is the most coveted one to turn into 500 or even 1,000 horsepower that handle it with a twin turbo. It's amazing what these motors will handle.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's the LS ones. I've always been a fan. I had when GTOs first came out in the 04. I had an 04 GTO. Drove that.
We talked about that today. Alex and I did it, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, so that was a great car. I love driving it. I always kind of miss this one's a little bit more raw. You know, it's a little bit more old school. It's got a little bit heavier steering, and
I like that.
You sit back a little bit more, and it just feels a little more sporty to me. So.
But if you're hunting one of these cars, I mean, you said you got a little bit lucky to the fact that it's an LS6. This is the car to have, though.
Yeah.
It's red. It's a 6-speed. They actually had factory Hurst shifters this year too.
Yeah. This one has the it's called a BBS. If you look at the tag, the BBS is the Hurst Shifter, and it's a short throw. So it has that as well. That was on my list that I had to have.
And then there's something that'll throw you off if you're looking at these cars. Is if you open the door on the build tag, it still says LS1. It doesn't say LS6.
No, it does not. It does not. You literally have to look at the block itself, and you got to look at the block number if you want to be 100%. But you can also look at the top of the block again, that bullseye, and then the coloring of the block.
And you know, some of the really serious Trans Am guys, there's kind of some back and forth as to what percentage they think was LS6. I've read anything from as low as 12% to as high as 20%.
I'm the same way. That's what I've seen. In 01 and 02, it differed on the percentage, but yeah, it was a very low percentage on both years, and very hard to differentiate them except for, again, looking at the block, and so a lot of people just don't know about it.
Yeah.
So you know how there's always, you just got to have the ultimate of that car.
Oh yeah.
So if you've got an LS1 car, you're like, everybody's like, well, does it got an LS6 block? No. No. And all the collectors think, oh, I have to have that. Do you really have to have that? Probably not, but this one gives you no excuses. Let's see the rest of the bottom. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't even want to get the cover dirty. So has it ever been buffed or waxed?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
has,
So
okay.
I only use Griot's products, and so when I first got it, I cleaned it off, and I put the I used what's it called? It's their
It's like a clay bar.
Yeah, it's kind of like a clay bar with theirs, and so I did that once. But to be honest, after I did that, I don't want to put anything else in there. I don't want to put any other imperfections. And as you can see against the lights,
I don't see any swirl marks at all.
No, there shouldn't be. If there's anything, it's a little bit of like haze. That's just because I've got maybe a little too much product on there. But other than that, though, you shouldn't see anything on it anywhere on the car. It's and that's again the real big part that is with F bodies are these sail panels. These sail panels bubble because they have the glue underneath actually attacks the fiberglass.
Yeah, there's some Ferraris that do that, I've seen.
Yeah, so that one obviously doesn't have anything.
It's because it hadn't been in the sun very much, that's it.
Not at
Yeah,
all.
we don't want this car getting hot, Alex. Wow. So do you keep a battery tender on it, or does the battery stay up?
Yeah, I use CPEC. I don't know if you guys use those.
Well, you mentioned you use Griot's products. That's Chris Jacobs is their sponsor.
Really?
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Super nice guy.
Yeah, I love them. The only thing, again, Texas summer over here, I can keep it all inside. But great products. They don't make things too shiny. You also notice this has markings on it still from the factory. That's cool.
62502.
I've never seen that before until I saw this car.
Look how far the motor sits back. It's almost like a Copo. That's way back in the firewall.
It is.
Car probably handles pretty good. These are neat cars. I've had a chance to drive some. They're really fun. Most of these things have just been ridden hard and put up wet.
Yeah, yeah.
Not treated like this.
Go ahead and open it up, and I'll tell you what. Take the, feel the leather, smell the interior. It doesn't smell old.
Wow, now that smells brand new. That is impressive. It's a bright car, red black stick. All right, let's get this cover off and can we hear it run?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and also these go in the T-tops. So
Okay.
these came from the factory, and as you'll notice, they were never actually installed. They have little Velcro on them.
Velcro.
And so I haven't done that. That's the bag. I think that's the bag for the cover. But.
So when you pull up behind one of these, you see that WS6, you might want to pay attention. Pretty stout car.
Yeah, very, very cool car, and as you can see, everything, it's still, struts still hold it up.
Great styling
These usually have a lot of haze in them, just because they get swirl marks very easily, so that's another thing on the back, but yeah, it's not very often that you see the standard exhaust on it.
You definitely did your homework on this thing, that's for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
So how far towards the end is the serial number of this car? It looked like that marking on the hood. This was built in the 6th month of the year. Is that about right?
It's, so the build is 502.
5, okay.
Yeah, and here's where you can see the BBS is the 6-speed Hurst Shifter. That's the Hurst short throw. There's your WS6. Obviously your ID tag there.
Y82?
I'm not sure what the Y82 is.
I know, in the earlier Trans Am, that was Trans Am. Y81, Y82. There's lots of codes to learn on there, isn't there?
Yeah.
See, I was mentioning, Alex, if you look on here, it's going to say LS1. Yeah, right there. Yeah, it won't say LS6. You just got lucky if you got an LS6. So what happened was, I think he's more learned than I am on this, is they had some issues with some blocks, right?
Correct, yeah. So in 0102, it didn't matter if you had a Firebird, a Trans Am, a WS6, it didn't matter what it was. If you had a problem on the factory line, from what the articles that I've read, they replaced it. Basically, rather than stop production, they put the block on there. You still got the heads from the LS1. You still got everything that the other LS1 had, but instead of stopping production, they just put the block in there. So that's why it's one of those things where go look at it, but because it didn't differentiate it, a lot of collectors probably didn't see that, and there's probably a lot of those that aren't around anymore.
Right.
Or they picked the engine and now it's in some restaurant, so it's kind of lost from these cars. So probably very few that you'll see with that.
So, I mean, this LS6 was in this car at the factory. It's not a service replacement motor. It was in the car when it was built, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's hear it run.
Go for it. Go ahead.
Okay.
It's in first gear, so just make sure you take it out of gear. I'm short. You might have to move the seat back too.
I actually drive pretty close like that. I like that position. Got the monsoon radio in it. That's an excellent cold start. You can see the temperature gauge is well below 0. Strong oil pressure. 2,691 miles. That's what everybody's waiting on. I mean, as you know, I think you said you watched some of our stuff.
I do.
I love low mileage. I mean, you just can't beat it. You can't restore this car back to this condition. You can just never do it. You'd never find this many NOS pieces.
Well, as they say, it's only original once.
Well, it's got a little chip key like the Corvettes had. Pretty neat. Well, let's see the paperwork.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on over here. So, out of all of them, we've got, let's see, we got a little hat there. That was the GM original hat.
Very cool.
There's the extra key. These, I didn't have this in the, I didn't want to keep it outside. It was to get kind of funky, but here's the owner's manual for the windows. So that's that in the back. So they go over there just so that if you wanted the T-tops to have, you know, some shade. And there's the owner's manual 2002. As far as what else was in here, yeah. You had your tires, warranty owner information. I'll throw that back in.
And this stuff, I mean, is to the collector, to me, this makes a difference.
Yeah,
having this stuff, it just does.
This was from the original owner, maybe the second owner. I think it's original owner and second owner. Just some bill of receipts from the early days.
Registration stuff. Okay.
Yeah. I think I sent you this one. This is talking about, this was Hot Rod Magazine, kind of cut it off a little bit, but not the one that I sent you electronically.
Okay.
So this talks about the LS6 in some of the F bodies. So 0102. And so there's the LS block number is, where does it show it up over there? There it is right there. The 125 611 68. That's where you look.
That's the casting number for the block.
Yeah, that's the casting number for the block.
For LS6.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. This was special from the dealers. You could get this, and
I have actually seen pictures of this, but I've never owned one of these cars that this was still with it.
Yep. And so there's the VIN number is on it.
Check this out, Alex. This is really cool. Because this was the last year of the Firebird, obviously last year of the Trans Am as well, but Pontiac issues certificates stating that. Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
And
Window
then
sticker.
There's the window sticker.
That was an expensive car.
Yeah.
That was back then.
32,690 in 02.
Yes. Yeah.
Big money back then.
I think the rest of these, this was Trans Am World, so this is decoding. I haven't looked at this in a little while, but if you wanted to go through that, it would tell you about the decoding numbers and VINs.
I've actually looked at this site before, and I think from looking through this and not spending an inordinate amount of time on it, that there was about 500 red manual cars. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, that sounds about right, and I really don't think you'll be able to put a number on which ones had a LS6 block. I mean, just because there's documentation wise, they only have a small percentage, and then what percentage survived.
Yeah, well, let's just go on the high side and say it is 20%. So you're down to 100 cars.
Yeah.
And how many of those 100 cars have been treated like this? 5?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking, this is a killer WS6, Alex.
Yeah.
It really is. Well,
and here's the last piece is just, of course, everyone wanted to see that brand new, but that's
really cool. Look at the drag strip, the tree.
Yeah.
Isn't that neat?
That's cool.
And they had some cool commercials back then.
Well, I'll tell you what, sir, I'm definitely not going to even make you an offer. I'm just going to pay your asking price. So I'll get you paid.
Well, thank you, sir.
And Alex will start loading it.
Yeah.
And it's going to a good home. I appreciate everything you've done as a caretaker of this car. I mean, to keep it in this condition is killer.
Absolutely.
So thank you for being such a good caretaker. I appreciate what you've done. We don't even have to detail this one, Alex.
No, we don't.
The first thing literally we were going to do is go back and document the chassis, but now that you have this lift, we've already done it.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, I made it easy for you. But no, I appreciate it. And coming from another car guy, I love watching your coffee walk and all your other TV personality stuff. It really, as a community of into the car guys, the car guys and girls,
Sure.
It's really neat to see how your business is run and your interactions. It's just it's really neat.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, we enjoy what we do. I mean, I can't imagine doing anything else for a living, but to come and see something like this and to get to buy it and drive it is phenomenal. And we're not driving this one back, even though we're only 60 miles from the shop because of the tires.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take this out and abuse it. You won't see me doing donuts or 180s. This car's going to be kept just like this. And for those of you out there, to keep a car like this in this condition and keep it alive and running and driving and breathing, it's a lot of work. I mean,
It is.
Alex has got all my cars to contend with, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I think our last order of battery tenders we got in from Matco, because it's part of Craftsman now,
Yeah.
they sent me 25.
Wow.
And they said, is that enough? I said, no, I need
No,
15
yeah.
more.
Wow.
Because we like to keep the tenders on them and keep them alive and keep them started.
Yeah.
And the other thing is you can tell on this car that when you have fired this car up, that you actually have run it long enough to get the condensation out of the exhaust.
Yeah.
Because we've actually bought, because we had one of the largest Fox body collections for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these guys, he goes, well, I've kept it running, I kept it started. I was like, yeah, but you didn't let it run long enough to get the condensation out. The exhaust system is gone. You can actually rot an exhaust system out in one of these cars. You can actually hurt it more by starting it and not letting it run long enough. I mean, if you look at this exhaust, it's perfect.
A couple little things too with caretaking. These motors go, so you want to function those up and down, and then also of course the AC system, just to keep everything lubed up, because the AC still works, it's still cold.
Sure.
But to keep those seals, you want to get it up to operating temperature. Run the AC, and then also with these lights just to keep the motors. So that was another kind of flaw that they had with these. They're plastic gears. You can get brass gears now, but these work perfectly. But,
Okay, we'll make sure we operate the lights.
But other than that, though, I mean, the car it's an LS1. It's a great
Killer motor.
car, and it's in great shape. So you don't have to worry about any of that. And as long as it doesn't bake out in the sun, it won't kill the interior. It'll be a great car.
Well, we'll have it back to the shop pretty quick. Last question.
Yes, sir.
Best local restaurant or your favorite food that's closest to your house?
Probably. Have you been to Marty B's?
No.
Okay, you got to go to Marty B's.
Marty B's it is.
So, yeah,
Okay.
Tony Romo goes over there every once in a while.
Really?
That's cool.
Well, you're welcome to join us if you want to. If you don't have time, I understand. We're going to go by there and we'll check out Marty B's.
All right, sounds good.
All right, let's get this thing loaded. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Let me get your money.
All right.
That's important, right? Killer paperwork. God, what a great day to be alive. This has got to be one of the finest 02 WS6 Trans Ams in existence. Now all we gotta do is get it on the trailer without any damage. Killer lines on this car. Success. I haven't driven one of these in a while. I like the heavy feel of the steering.
That clutch
Feels
is a little
good.
grippy when you go on the angle. But, it's good.
No scrape
in it. Yeah,
not a single scrape.
Yeah.
It's on the trailer. And we use these race ramps for hitting it slow. They make a huge difference.
I saw that. No, it's a good angle.
We've got 2 2 Ferraris in our enclosed trailer right now, and there's just no way if we didn't have, like, we have race ramps that are triple that length just to get those in there.
Wow.
I mean, you have to just incrementally just be so careful.
Wow.
But how low was it, Alex? Is it close?
It's close.
Was it?
Yeah.
What are you going to buy next to put on your lift?
I'm looking at Panteras.
Oh, outstanding. I've had a bunch of them.
Yeah. Looking at a 72, which is a pre-L.
Yeah.
So like that original owner, unfortunately original owner passed away, but family's selling it, so.
I've got a really cool Pantera story for you. So I bought a yellow one out of Round Rock, Texas. We bought a big collection of Corvettes. These two gentlemen were.
Spider on you.
Uh-oh. I get it?
That's a big boy.
Okay. These two guys were best friends. They built identical houses, lived back to back, both had really big garages. And in 1981, they had a gentleman's bet that they were going to both take $10,000 and buy the car they thought was going to appreciate the most. The guy that had the Corvette collection I bought from him bought a yellow Pre-L Pantera. The guy behind him bought a Lamborghini Miura. Wow. $10,000 apiece. So you know who won that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the Miura is worth $1 million.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and the guy still has the Miura, and I ended up in Pantera because unfortunately the gentleman passed away, but that's a true story.
Wow. Yeah, I love Miura's beautiful.
So even back early in the day, collectors thought, you know, these Panteras are too cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, back in those days, there were times that a Pantera was the same price as a Cobra. Panteras just haven't moved.
Yeah.
They have moved some. They haven't appreciated as much as they should, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd say the last like 5 to 8 years that they've started moving up, but I mean the days of seeing a nice one for 25 to 35 are long gone.
Oh no, that's a project car.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, you're chasing something cool.
Yeah.
We'll fill your garage. You guys ready? All right.
Ready.
Have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you.
Hey, very nice to meet you. You as well.
Pleasure to meet you.
All right. Thank you.
We're at Marty B's, highly recommended by the previous owner of this beautiful 02 WS6 Trans Am.
Get you some of that.
That's awesome. Man, this is one cool looking place. Might be the biggest barbecue place I've ever seen. All right, what's your name, sir?
Christian.
Christian Dennis.
Nice to meet you.
All right. So,
Doing good?
you know what the all-in is?
All in. No, I do not.
You do not. Okay, well, we're going to do the all-in on the starters, which means we want one of every one.
One of every single starter.
So we'll start off with that, then we get through that. We'll see what we're going to eat on the regular menu.
Got it.
What is your favorite thing to eat here?
Quesadillas or fajitas? Fajitas
Quesadilla?
are really good. Skirt steak. Gotta go skirt steak.
Okay.
And the quesadillas, those. And
Now,
the burger.
on the cheese fries, no chives,
No chives.
add jalapenos.
Add jalapenos.
Should kind of meat you want on there?
It don't matter to me.
It comes with bacon already, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you can get rid of the bacon and do an actual meat.
No, I'd rather have the bacon, no chives. And then so we'll do the all-in on the starters and we'll go from there.
Perfect. If y'all need anything else, just feel free to let me know.
We will.
Yeah, we got a little bit more coming out right now.
All right.
Nachos for now.
Okay, so we got chips, queso, salsa, nachos. What's on the nachos?
The nachos got brisket, nice brisket barbecue, a little bit of Mexican crema sauce, and
Outstanding.
then a little bit of cilantro on top.
Okay, now make sure Zach gets the hot jalapeno.
Queso,
All right, love queso.
salsa,
All right.
the Marty's meatballs, and jalapenos right here. Look for the curls.
The meatballs came highly recommended, and so did the jalapenos.
Oh, yeah, they
so
will
now how
be
can you tell which one is the hottest one?
So the tail will be curled on the end of the ones that are the hottest.
So that's Zach's.
Yeah, I do.
Stay away from those if you don't like spice.
All right.
And then here's some dry rub wings for y'all also. These are really popular too. So.
Okay. Dry rub wings. I'm in.
Cool.
So there you go. That's the all-in for the starters. We're going to get after this, and we'll order the meal in just a few minutes. Well, how's the meatball?
Amazing.
I thought it
That's
was
really
too.
good.
Well, I'm going to try the stuffed jalapeno. Wow. nacho next. So I tell you what, when you ask a local person what their favorite restaurant is, you almost never go wrong. I've had a lot of barbecue, a lot of Tex-Mex. This is good stuff here. Stuffed jalapenos are great.
Stuffed jalapenos are good.
The meatballs are great. You know what? We handled them pretty well.
Well, that's good right there. Can't complain. That means one of those has got to be kicking right there.
No, Zach got the kicking one, but he's used to it. Everything was good so far. I want to do ribs.
Ribs, you got it.
I want street corn, and I gotta have the au gratin potatoes.
You got it.
They good?
They are. They're really good.
My mom used to make those. It's a lot of work actually making them.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I don't have to be the one to do that kicking that stuff. So.
Yeah, if you watch the guy in the back, people don't know how much work au gratin
Oh
potatoes.
yeah, they were back there all day just to begin with.
It's
just
a lot of
brisket,
work.
all that stuff. Yeah, I'm good.
Alex, what are you having?
I'll get the 2-meat plate with brisket, and then can I get ribs with that too?
Brisket and ribs, you got it.
Yep.
Did you want lean or moist brisket?
Lean.
All right, you got it. And for your sides?
I'll get French fries, and you got barbecue beans.
Oh, we have charro beans.
Yeah.
So you really need some more French fries?
I didn't have all of them. That's yours.
All right.
The ribs with the street corn.
Look at that burger.
Ground potato. The burgers are amazing, man. You cannot go wrong with those things.
Look at those potatoes. Those are fantastic. Love it.
The 2-meat with the brisket, ribs, and charro beans, and the French fries for you, sir.
Thank you.
And last but not least, that the bacon cheeseburger come playing with the fries.
Wow, that looks good. Street corn, ribs, au gratin potatoes are my favorite things on the planet. I haven't had in a long time. What I normally do is mix my regular barbecue sauce and spicy, for those of you that care. Oh, wow. The ribs are literally falling off the bone. Awesome. Man, gotta love a good rib, and this is really, really good. Dry rub on top is nice. We'll take a bite without the sauce. It's even good without the sauce. That way you know it's a killer rib. I'm pretty sure I can finish this. How about you, Junior?
I think I can too.
All right, Zach, it's your turn. Get after your burger. All right, well, you said you've been craving a burger ever since Mount Pleasant, right? Mm-hmm. How is it?
This is on par with that burger.
Is it really?
Close, yeah.
I thought we found the best burger on the planet. Oh, I'm happy with my choice. Guys, ready for the ultimate bite? I just washed my hands because I made such a mess of them on the first couple of ribs. So I'm gonna cut a piece off, but the street corn is amazing, it's rich. You get some street corn, some au gratin potatoes, some rib, hot, spicy sauce. That is damn near perfect. That's the ultimate bite today. So the food was great, the service was great. What's the worst tip you've ever gotten?
I got exact change one time. Just like literally like pennies, nickels, everything. That's the worst tip I got.
So you're a young man working hard. How many hours a week do you work?
Probably like 40 to 50.
That's outstanding. If you work 60, you make more money.
Well, yeah, you gotta have some time to have some fun. You know?
Well, there you go.
Yes, sir.
And your
Thank
best
you.
tip you've ever gotten?
About $100.
$100. All right.
Yes,
Well, we're gonna beat that.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Thanks for the great service.
Thank
Great
y'all.
food.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully y'all's video goes well. Thank y'all for coming in.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all.
Woo! What a great day to be alive. So we rescued a car that absolutely needs nothing. Right, Alex?
Right.
I can't imagine what else we could possibly do to this car.
Oh, it's so nice.
It is so clean. We had our 42 Fox bodies we're talking about on the way back. We had cars that had never been driven. This car is that clean, is it not?
Yeah.
Chassis is perfect, beautiful, interior smells new. There's not even a rub mark on the seat. But what did we get? A 2002 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am WS6 LS6 motor Ram Air car with a 6-speed. Unbelievable. Let's run the numbers down just real quick. There are about 500 red, black interior cars with the manual transmission, maybe 20% with the LS6 motor, which is actually a big deal in collector terms. That makes 100 cars.
Yep.
How many out there with 2,691 miles in that condition? Earlier I said 5, I think this is the car.
Yeah.
So, final year of the Firebird, final year of the Trans Am, which was from 69 to 2002. The Firebird was 67 to 2002. What better than that than the final year car?
Amazing.
There you go. Thanks for watching. Please like, tag, share, and follow. We will see you next week.